Howdy. Did you know that the Steam Taking of Life level is getting a long-awaited third installment soon? I sure did when I made this video because this franchise is getting attention from the media because of it, and then Bricky made a video about it, making it so people will want to go down a rabbit hole for this game. Hopefully. Also, did you know I made this bit of small talk to fill for time because YouTube hates it when you have blood or gore in the first 10 seconds of your video? So this small talk was worthless and just wasted your time. What are you doing with that shovel? Hey, chill out, man. It was all for the sake of the video. I haven't even told you how to play Berserker yet! Ah! Berserkers are for the true cavemen that somehow wandered their way onto the killing floor. If you pick Berserker, you're not one of these smart people that thought it might be advantageous for you to use a gun in a game all about surviving against enemies that are mainly close ranged, with attacks that deal devastating chunk damage that can obliterate you in seconds, especially on higher difficulties. Sure, you can play as Commando, the Call of Duty class that allows you to see invisible things and look at enemy health bars, if you have zero situational awareness. Or you can play Field Medic if you like making sure idiots like me and other classes stay alive with amazing, delicious buffs. Or you can play the Demolitionist that obliterates trash and large Zeds alike, as long as you don't sit too close and give yourself a new look where your insides are more on the outside and scattered. Or maybe the Gunslinger that has absolutely no issues with it at all. That's just straight up the best thing in the game because you're a rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting Zeds, trying to rack up headshots. But just hear me out. You can send a blender that is a crowd of Zeds in the killing floor, the only possession you have on your body being a shovel. Yeah, that's a great idea. Going toe-to-toe with horrible horrors as a mere man. Everyone else is wusses, not knowing certain integral primordial truths. First truth is that, yeah, sure, guns are cool with their explosions that shoot these tiny little bits of metal at things, but they make things way too easy. If you truly want to feel accomplished in a life where clones have flooded and invaded Europe, it is to destroy them with the raw, destructive power with your big, muscled-up pythons, batting around baddies. The second primordial truth is that red is the best color. Oh, that's the breaking point. Screw you guys. Red is the best color, is the one burning hot take that I will adhere to my death. Hey, no, not the shovel again! First off, let's go over the baseline stuff a Berserker can do, generally and with their weapons. These melee weapons are awesome, acting like the weapons from Chivalry, which for those of you not in the know, each melee weapon has a set of light and heavy attacks that change depending on the direction you last inputted. Then you have a bash that often staggers, but can also do other special things depending on the weapon. And last of all, you have a block that can also be a parry if you block as soon as the attack lands. Both mitigate damage and make you feel like you're playing a first-person Dark Souls when you use them. You also have some passive bonuses that you get no matter what when you level up, with the class at max level having a 25% melee damage buff. You won't really notice it because it slowly builds up, but it feels great at the end. You also get a flat 10% damage resistance, making you super tanky. You also have a secret passive that makes it so the durations of fires and acids on your skin last 20% less compared to other classes. Oh, you also get night vision and you can't be grabbed. I'm pretty sure that night vision is a holdover from Killing Floor 1. And of course you would make it so you can't be grabbed by clots. That would just be kind of dumb for it not to be a thing. Almost as dumb as the size of my friend's industrial ketchup bottle.
Making fun of my fucking ketchup bottle? Like, what's it to you how much fucking ketchup I have in my fridge?
Why do you have an industrial bottle of ketchup in your fridge? Why
what's
you
it
don't
to
need
you?
that much ketchup?
What's it to you?
Dude, are you lathering yourself in it? Are you lathering yourself in it, Ben?
So what if I am? So what if I am?
I was just wondering, alright? You never talk to me anymore. You never talk to me anymore, and I just see that
into the shower every night, and I use the ketchup as body wash. Huh?
Man. Berserker has two sets of perks that change his playstyle, with them being the exact opposites of each other. Down the left side, you have the more passive Dreadnought skill tree. The first perk, Dreadnought, the namesake of the skill tree, is a beautiful thing that makes it so your bones are so incredibly dense that you can survive a car crash without being scratched. But you also have a secret negative where you can't swim anymore, which kinda suck, but it means you have the gum fruit of having 100 extra health. which is just a straight up buff if you don't know how to swim. But it would be a straight up nerf for me because I know how to swim. Last time I checked anyway. Vampire allows you a bit of self-healing every time you turn a Zed into a Dead, while also making you fire perk weapons 20% faster. This is a buff for both of the perks in the skill tree, so it kinda is just a passive you get. Resistance makes you tankier, and Smash makes it so heavy attacks can pop heads off and make it so Zeds stumble and fumble with your big, strong arms. Then Berserker Rage makes it so you heal for 50% of your health, make it so nearby enemy Zeds stop in place, frozen like they have jewelry and gold on them because they're iced up. There's also the more active and skill-expressive Skirmisher. Now I know that statement is rude to Dreadnought enjoyers, but sadly it's true. Usually I prefer to be this wall of meat, but Skirmisher allows you to regen health passively, and be faster in general, making it so you can outrun everything and take fights only when you need to, weaving in and out of combat, and also running away when you need to use healing factor for your liver to regenerate from a beating harder than drinking hard liquors daily and only eating boy dinner. Fun fact, you used to regenerate 2 points of health every second instead of 1, but apparently that was too good, so they had to cut that benefit in half, and I'm still mad about it. Butcher makes it so you do more damage and hit faster, and Parry empowers your parry, making you take less damage, attack faster, and deal more damage if you land a parry, being a wisdom check that gives big brain rewards for those who pass it, making you the smartest of the dum-dums. Massacre makes light attacks do more damage and makes you hit faster in general. And that's it. Spartan is awesome though, making it so you move in real time during Zed time. You'll definitely be a fan of this if you watched any of the Quicksilver scenes from the X-Men movies. Now, you could make your own build where you go ahead and use your critical thinking skills to make a build that would work towards your individual brand of killing floor excellence. But I think we all know that any player base in any game is a hive mind. So just use this one that uses the perks right, left, right, taking the best perks from each skill tree. Because a Skirmisher's ability to get out of combat fast is awesome and better than being stuck in the mud with Dreadnought. Butcher's just way better than Vampire because of the amount of damage you can do. Because Vampire is useless, man. That healing doesn't really do anything. We have chunks taken out of you at higher difficulties. So it's better to trade some survivability for the ability to hit harder. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I love parry. Because when you parry, you make this really cool saturated red effect that might as well be green because when that effect pops off satisfyingly, it's your time to go in. Do a lot of scrakes, do a lot of fresh pounds, work up the courage to ask a cute cashier for a burger, then tip them nothing. Not because you didn't plan to tip them or anything, but more because you forgot. You gotta smash always. Massacre sucks. Just look at the stats that Smash gives and that Massacre doesn't. Just aiming for heads makes you do so much damage. Even counting for ranged perk weapons you can use, with it being better than the just swing faster aspect. Lastly, go for Spartan. It's cooler, allows you to have mobility, and allows you to have some explosive amounts of damage during Zed time. Plus, Berserker Rage's positive traits won't be of any use to you if you don't suck. But how do I not suck, Freelance? Come on, you know I wouldn't leave you out dry like that, homie. Let me show you the best ways to survive and get damage done. You gotta weave in and out of combat, dealing with crowds of Zeds and running back to your friends, or just in a general direction away from everything. Your best bet when you fight is to sit there looking pretty but poised, maybe even calmly approaching a gore-faster slasher. Eventually, just as you predicted, they'll try to murder you. You fool, you dummy! You've triggered my trap card! Parrying them so your damage and resistances go up and allowing you to rock out and just let loose for a little bit. Just prepare when all of your unimaginable power drains from you and you need to parry all over again. Just make sure not to get cornered or you'll be ripped apart instantly, like a girl posting a makeupless picture on social media. But if you can take glancing blows and have some situational awareness instead of tunnel vision on looking at stalkers like the freak you are, you should be just fine. There are a few things you can do that make you special, though. The Rider can be easily one-shot with one hearty bonk to the head. Your parry also allows you to face tank flesh pounds and scrakes in casual friendly slapboxing matches, taking them out in 1v1s, or just tanking for your team. Or you could deal by them solo by just heavy attacking their heads, spamming it. But the biggest recommendation I can give to you is to learn not to overcommit. know when it might be better to run or backpedal instead of running headfirst into the Flesh Pound's warm, blood-coated gauntlets. Oh, also bloat sirens and husks. Just be aware of them and where they might be, and kinda stay near a wall so you can dodge husks and missiles. For weapons, you have a few choices depending on your own preference. Sure, you have your meaty Bone Crusher that does some very good damage with heavy and shield bashes that can knock your socks off, while also having some of the largest amount of damage reduction for parries and blocks. You can also use the Static Strikers if you want to hit fast and hard, but have a smaller reach because you suffer from small little T-Rex arm syndrome. But you do have an on-command EMP when you heavy attack, so it's not that bad. And there's many other weapons in the base roster that are really good, but I think the best weapon you could possibly have is the classic baseball bat. But this time it hurts and heals. It's the Hemoclobber. And it's so simple, it does good damage by itself, but if you notice, this weapon has a magazine that makes it so whenever you heavy attack, it gives everything in like a 2-meter radius around you a lethal case of the sniffles, while also healing yourself and others. Team play is even incentivized, because if you whack a homie, it heals them too, covering every niche you would need for a melee weapon. Plus it's lightweight enough for you to use a ranged weapon too. With that, you can pick your poison between the nail gun or the Tesla launcher. I personally like to choose the nail gun because it's cooler, turns Scrakes into not Scrakes, costs less, and it is easy to buy early on, remedying some of the issues you have with Zeds in the early rounds. Being able to pick off things like bloats, husks, and sirens if they're all grouped up. If you want to dish out some real-life dodge for weapons, you can get the Zweihander, which is something you can bring instead of the Hemoclobber, or the Iron Thruster, which does really great damage and has an amazing special that destroys everything around you, but it needs charged up. Kinda like an ultimate ability. Somebody say pay to win, because I sure did when I saw the Frost Fang. It can freeze enemies in place, be a shotgun, chunk large Zeds, and be a melee weapon. Probably being one of the most overpowered guns in the game. The dual Piranha pistols are fast and mobile, being a great thing to get rid of bosses, mainly in combination with the Bone Crusher, for the amount of damage mitigation it has. So I basically taught it all I can in this small course. Killing Floor 2 is a pretty easy game to pick up, especially if you played other games like it. So go out there and clean up the Killing Floor, and oh, don't forget to buy some armor. Don't want to die. But I'll never buy armor, and I hate spending cash on anything that isn't a weapon. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe ring the bell so you don't miss out when I post a new video. Bye bye! Good luck not dying out there on the Killing Floor!